G'day, welcome back to Exploring Sydney and beyond. Today we're having a little look around Fisherman's Cottages. Hope you enjoy the tour. Okay, so just as we sneak past our little friends here, let me have a little chat to you about these huts. The first of these huts were built during the 1920s and were built for short stayovers for little fishing trips down here at Craters Cove. However, during the 1930s, it was thought that some of these dwellings were permanently occupied due to the hardships of the Great Depression. During the 1960s, others were seeking solitude and would come here for a weekend escape or a bit of a break, get away from it all. But in the 1970s and 80s, people were permanently living in these huts, enjoying what some would describe as an idyllic lifestyle in a settlement and that boasted million-dollar views. This was much to the disgust of landowners just outside the national park, who had paid millions of dollars for their harbour view properties. This situation occurred until about 1984, when the occupants were forced out by National Parks and Wildlife Services. The evictions followed the New South Wales Government's declaration of the new Sydney Harbour National Parks Authority, which incorporated Dobroyd Head and Craters Cove. Some of these evictions took their case to the High Court of Australia, claiming they had been living there permanently since the 1970s and recreational use since the 1930s. They further backed their claims in arguing that by living there, they were acting as custodians and carers for the huts and the cove. The High Court decided in favour of the government and the evictions were upheld. So unfortunately these people did have to move out, and this area is now cared for by volunteers and the NPWS. So if you choose to visit here, please be respectful, don't touch anything and don't try to go inside, just look and admire. And now we approach yet another cottage. Just imagine sitting here and enjoying the view of South and North Head back in the day. Just have a look at that. Isn't that spectacular?